Hey everyone, it's Jay Wolf here. Today I'm going to go through a guide on how to install or upgrade to a higher gigabyte amount of RAM in your desktop PC. This is a pretty easy process, but I actually had a few people at work that were asking how to do this. It's a simple task to do, but I'm also going to jump in. I have an ASUS motherboard, which some of the newer ASUS motherboards, especially the Z77 platforms, have a boot issue when they auto volt on these. If you can see right here, I'll kind of bring this in a little closer. You can see that right here, hopefully, that it is 1.65 volt. That's going to be something important to remember as we jump into the BIOS after we install this in our desktop PC to help control some of the boot issues that some of the ASUS, from what I know, it's only the ASUS Z77 Intel platform motherboards, but leave some comments below, especially if it's in some of the other, especially Gigabyte, EVGA, Intel, some of the other MSI, if some of the other motherboards, if they have these same issues. So let's jump in, take off the panel, and get these installed, and we'll jump into the BIOS and make sure everything's running correctly. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to move the screws here from the side panel of the desktop PC. I've already done that, but most of them just have little thumb screws depending on what type of case you have. This one just has removable thumb screws, so it's kind of a toolless design. And you want to be careful of any of your systems if you have a fan. I currently do have a fan hooked up, so I want to make sure to remove the little pin that was connected to the motherboard and set that aside carefully as not to scratch or break anything. So before we jump in and install the RAM, one thing I want to mention is that RAM currently on new motherboards especially is going to run in dual channels. So what you want to do is install it in either the 1 and 3 channel or the 2 and 4, depending on how you want to set your system up. Since I already have 2 DIMMs already installed, to install these 2, see if I can zoom in a little more. What we're going to do is you're just going to push up here on the DIMM slots. You can kind of hear a little snap when you push those up. Maybe not a snap, but you can hear a definite clicking sound. And what you're going to do here is you're going to install them like this. Just pay attention to where your little, so as you can see here, what we're going to do is we're going to line this notch up with the notch on the motherboard. And we're just going to slide it to start here in the bottom, then slide it up here on top. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a nice firm press. As I'm holding the back of the case, you can hear it click into place. And we're going to do the same thing with this RAM slot, paying attention to the little slot here in the RAM. And I find it easiest to make sure that bottom part is down there firmly to begin with, and then it will just snap right into place. So we've officially installed the RAM. Now let's jump into the BIOS and make sure that we have the voltage set correctly, especially on the Intel Z77 motherboard platform. So let's jump in and see what we got. Alright, now that we got the RAM installed, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump into the BIOS and show what we do here. Again, I'm running the ASUS Z77 motherboard, the Sabertooth edition now, and jump into the BIOS. The delete key to jump into BIOS here. See, now we're into the ASUS BIOS. And what we're going to do here, I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the advanced mode here. And once you jump into the advanced mode, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the AI tweak up here at the top. And you'll scroll down. I've already done this before, but as you can see down here, the DRAM. This right here, the DRAM voltage is usually set to auto, and what I've done is I've went in and manually, as you can see here, you can type in anything that your voltage might be. I put in 1.65, which is the voltage that was actually on the RAM, but you can also check the package that it might come in and it'll tell you the voltage. So we've changed that to 1.65, and we're going to do an exit. Save changes and reset, correct. and it'll go through and do a reboot. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our RAM has officially installed. So what we're going to do from here is we're actually going to go in and go to Control Panels and go to System and Security, and then click on System. And as you can see right here, it has 12 gigabytes of memory installed, so we successfully
So that concludes my guide on installing RAM in your desktop PC and how to go into the BIOS and actually modify the voltage for your RAM depending on what type of voltage your RAM runs at. I find that setting it at the manufacturer's RAM voltage better helps with any type of boot issues you might have. Once setting it to that 1.65 that you saw set at for my RAM configuration, I have no issues with any boot issues, but if I set it at the auto feature, sometimes it doesn't actually boot correctly. So let me know with thumbs up if you like videos like this, and I'll create some more. This is a really simple task, but like I said, I've had some people at work that have been running into RAM issues, and they've been wanting to install RAM, and they were thinking about taking their system to a local PC store, and once I was explaining to them how easy of a task it is just to install RAM, I mean, anyone should be able to do this. It's a simple, really simple task, just like installing a GPU, which I've actually done a how-to video on that. So that concludes my guide on how to install RAM in your desktop PC. Check it out.